Hi, I'm Andrew Mills from Freeth Cartwright's Impact blog, and this is my special video report on the live IP auction that took place today in London. So you might be asking, what's so special about intellectual property auctions carry on all the time? Well, intellectual property rights are legal assets, but because they're intangible, buying and selling them is just a little bit different from buying and selling physical things. This is part of the reason why, in my view, there haven't really been auctions of IP rights before. However, being a challenger of conventional thinking, I can't see why it's not been done before, because after all, people have been buying and selling houses by auction for hundreds of years, and you don't just go and buy a house without doing some research first. So, how did this IP auction work today? First of all, those with rights that wanted to sell them had to register with the auction house, Ocean Tomo. The company says that it only puts into the auction rights that it thinks will sell. It investigates the rights and it carries out some investigations as to who it thinks might be interested in buying them. The rights offered for sale are published in the catalogue, and if you're a possible buyer, you can register your interest and you get to access an online data room so you can carry out some investigations as to what the rights are. This is part of what's called due diligence. Okay, so that's enough theory on how it works. Let's go and see what happens.
Okay, hi, I'm here with James from Ocean Tomo. We've just finished the live IP auction. We did about £4 million worth of sales in total. How do you think it went?
For our first event in Europe, we're quite pleased with the results. It exceeded our first event in the United States. The interest from the European community was stronger than we expected, and the results also beat our estimates. So we're anxious to come back next June for our second event.
Okay, and what about the world record?
Exactly. So not only did we have a good overall result, but we set a world record price of $4.4 million, over £2 million for a patent lot at a live auction. And that speaks to the marketplace here in Europe.
One of the things I was interested in what you were saying earlier was about the stuff that didn't sell, and the fact that, I said maybe it wasn't publicised enough, and you had an interesting answer to that.
Well, Ocean Tomo's role is to select good intellectual property and then to market it so it's well known. If we do our job of picking strong IP and advising potential buyers, then the market will set the price. So when we submit or select a lot for the auction, that itself is a very intensive screening process. Less than 10% of what's submitted actually make it to the catalog. What we select for the catalog are patents that we believe will sell based upon buyer input, but we're always experimenting. We're putting in new areas of technology that we think have an interest, but we're uncertain if the buyer is there. You saw some of that today with the green technology that we were personally excited about, but as of yet, the buyers have not entered this marketplace.
And where do you think this is going to go moving forward? I mean, it seems to me you've got a bit of a momentum going here.
Well, we think we do have a leadership view at this point. The auction platform for us has a good 3 to 5 year horizon, but ultimately we believe it'll be cannibalized by our own IP exchange efforts that are ongoing in Chicago, literally creating a board of trade for intellectual property.
What do you think about the efforts of people like Legal Force? Have you seen their site for trying to trade patents?
I have seen their and other web-dominated sites. The problem is that this is still a personal business, and it's still important to visit with the inventor, understand their motivations, sit down with them. And I don't think that web platforms today are providing all of that. Now, there is a role for web platforms. Our firm itself has what we call the Dean's List, which is, in some respects, a classified service listing properties for sale. But overall, you can't skip any step in the market-making process. The open, outcry, public market square that we have in this auction is a step that you have to go through.
Okay. Well, thanks very much for your time, James.
Thank you for coming.
And I look forward to coming to next year's event.
Hopefully we'll see you in Chicago in October at the next auction.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Okay, so you've heard my initial thoughts, you've heard the interview with James, so what's my conclusion? Well, my conclusion is that real IPI got sold here, not all of it, but a lot of it, and some of it went for quite a lot more than people were expecting. The successful sellers just weren't the big names either, some of them were, but there were small entities and individuals, and that's got to be good news for the IP industry. The next auction's in October in Chicago, and then it's going to be back in Europe in June 2008. I think there's some great momentum going here, and this could be a really useful thing over the next few years for IP owners to find a new way to get money out of their rights. It's also perhaps going to give us an opportunity to, in a public way, assess the value of different types of intellectual property, and again, that must be useful. That's the end of my special report. Thanks for watching. This is Andrew Mills signing out. Goodbye.